What if everything you think you know about human history is wrong? What if our entire timeline, the rise of agriculture, the birth of cities, the invention of writing, is just the second act? What if there was a first civilization, one so advanced it makes our technology look primitive? And what if we're not discovering history but rediscovering it? What if we're living in their rebuild? The evidence sits in plain sight. Megalithic stones cut with laser precision. Underground cities that house 20,000 people. Maps that show Antarctica without ice. Artifacts that shouldn't exist for another 50,000 years. Someone built this. Someone knew things. Someone was here first. If you value documented ancient history like this, subscribe. It's the best way to support our work. Also, comment from which city you're hearing this from. This script is researched and factual, using sources from Graham Hancock's research and archaeological journals. Now back to the story. The timeline doesn't add up. Modern humans appeared 200,000 years ago. For 190,000 years, we supposedly lived in caves, hunted with sticks, drew on walls. Then suddenly, 12,000 years ago, boom, agriculture, cities, mathematics, writing systems, metallurgy, architecture, all within a few thousand years. That's like spending your entire life learning to walk. Then, in your final week, you build a rocket ship. Göbekli Tepe proves the timeline is broken. Southeastern Turkey, 11,600 years old. Massive stone pillars, each weighing 16 tons, arranged in perfect circles. Intricate carvings of animals that lived thousands of miles away. The archaeologists who found it called it impossible. Hunter-gatherers with stone tools don't move 16-ton blocks. They don't organize labor forces of hundreds. They don't have the mathematics for precise astronomical alignments. But someone did. Klaus Schmidt spent 20 years excavating the site. He found something that changed everything. The older layers are more sophisticated than the newer ones. The deeper you dig, the more advanced it gets. This violates every rule of technological development. Civilizations are supposed to get better with time, not worse. Unless this isn't the beginning, unless it's the aftermath, the stones tell a story. Pillar 43 shows a headless man surrounded by vultures. Below him, scorpions and serpents. Above, celestial objects falling from the sky. The carving matches descriptions from the Younger Dryas impact event 12,800 years ago. Comet fragments hitting ice sheets, global flooding, climate collapse, mass extinction. Someone recorded the end of the world. Derinkuyu changes the game completely. Central Turkey, an underground city that goes down 18 levels, 200 feet deep, held 20,000 people, complete with ventilation systems, wine cellars, chapels, schools, livestock areas, 11 miles of tunnels connecting to other underground cities. The official dating puts it at 8th century BCE. The engineering says otherwise. The ventilation system alone requires advanced fluid dynamics, 52 shafts providing fresh air to every level, temperature control systems, water management that prevents flooding during heavy rains. The Byzantine Empire gets credit, but their surface buildings from the same period are primitive. Why would a civilization that builds magnificent underground cities live in mud huts above ground? They wouldn't. The underground cities came first. The surface occupation came later. Carbon dating from organic materials gives you when people lived there, not when they built it. The construction techniques, the tool marks, the engineering principles, they point to something much older, something that predates the historical record. The Piri Reis map demolishes everything we know about exploration, 1513 CE. Ottoman Admiral Piri Reis creates a map showing the coastline of Antarctica, accurate to within half a degree, shows mountains, valleys, rivers under the ice. The problem, Antarctica wasn't discovered until 1820. it wasn't mapped until the 1950s. It hasn't been ice-free for 15 million years. The map includes source notes. Piri Reis claims he used 20 ancient maps, some dating back to Alexander the Great's time, others even older. He describes charts from the time of Alexander, Lord of the Two Horns, and maps that showed the lands of the New World. Someone mapped the world when the ice was gone. Someone had global navigation capabilities millions of years before Columbus. Charles Hapgood analyzed the map at the University of New Hampshire. His conclusion shocked the academic world. The Piri Reis map shows Antarctica as it existed before the last ice age. The mathematics, the projection systems, the coordinate accuracy, it requires satellite-level surveying technology. The map shows more than Antarctica. It depicts South America's coast with pinpoint accuracy, shows the Andes Mountains from the air, includes islands that are now underwater. The level of detail suggests aerial reconnaissance or satellite imaging, but that's impossible unless it isn't. The Baghdad Battery sits in the Iraq Museum, 2,000-year-old clay jars containing copper cylinders and iron rods. When filled with acid or alkaline solution, they produce electrical current. German archaeologist Wilhelm König discovered them in 1936. Tests prove they generate 1.1 volts of electricity. The official explanation: religious artifacts, decorative items, storage containers. The evidence says otherwise. Chemical residue inside suggests acidic solutions. Corrosion patterns match electrical usage. Similar devices found at multiple sites across the region. They're batteries. 2,000 years before Alessandro Volta supposedly invented the first battery. But why would ancient people need electricity? The Dendera temple complex in Egypt provides answers. The southern crypt contains carvings that look exactly like electrical equipment. Large bulb-shaped objects connected to cables. Figures operating what appears to be electrical devices. The objects emit light, wavy lines emanating from the bulbs. Other figures hold what look like remote controls. Egyptologists call them religious symbols. Electrical engineers see power generation equipment. Engineer John Burke built working replicas based on the carvings. They produce light? Real, functional electrical illumination using the materials and methods shown in the temple art. The ancient Egyptians weren't just drawing symbols. They were documenting technology. The precision work at Pumapunku breaks every rule of ancient construction. Bolivia, 14,000 feet above sea level. Stone blocks cut with tolerances of 50 microns, tighter than modern machinery achieves. Interlocking H-shaped blocks that fit together like three-dimensional puzzles. No mortar, no gaps. Perfect alignment across massive structures. The hardest stone blocks weigh 130 tons. They were quarried 10 miles away across difficult terrain. The cutting techniques show machine precision, perfectly flat surfaces, exact 90-degree angles, complex interlocking joints that require computer modeling to design. But the dating is wrong. Official archaeology dates Pumapunku to 600 CE. The Tiwanaku culture gets credit. But the Tiwanaku people used bronze and stone tools. They didn't have cranes. They didn't have precision cutting equipment. They couldn't move 100-ton blocks across 10 miles of rough terrain. The masonry techniques at Pumapunku match those at Göbekli Tepe, Easter Island, and Baalbek. Same cutting methods, same interlocking principles, same impossible precision, different continents. Different time periods according to official dating. Same builders according to the evidence. Arthur Poznansky spent 50 years studying Tiwanaku. His astronomical analysis of the site's alignments places construction at 15,000 BCE. That's 9,000 years before the official dating. 9,000 years before the Tiwanaku culture existed. Someone else built Pumapunku, someone with technology we're only now beginning to understand. The Antikythera mechanism rewrites the history of computing. Greek device from 2,000 years ago. Bronze gears and dials that calculate planetary positions, lunar phases, eclipse dates, Olympic Games schedules. It's a computer. An analog computer that predicts celestial events with mathematical precision. Derek D. Price spent 20 years analyzing the device. His X-ray analysis revealed 37 bronze gears in complex arrangements. The gear ratios match lunar and planetary cycles exactly. The mathematics requires understanding of elliptical orbits, knowledge that supposedly didn't exist until Kepler in 1609. But someone built it 2,000 years earlier. Someone understood celestial mechanics at a level that wouldn't be matched again until the Renaissance. Someone had manufacturing techniques capable of producing precision bronze gears. The device contains a manual, ancient Greek text describing its operation, instructions for calculating planetary positions, predicting eclipses, determining festival dates. It's user-friendly technology. Not experimental, not prototype, production model, which means they built others, which means this level of technology was commonplace, which means the Greeks inherited knowledge from someone else. Recent CT scans reveal even more complexity. The mechanism tracks the 4-year cycle of Olympic Games, calculates the 19-year metonic cycle of lunar phases, predicts solar eclipses 50 years in advance, shows the phases of the moon for any given date. It's more accurate than European clockwork from 1,500 years later. Michael Wright built a working replica. Every gear functions perfectly. The calculations are exact. The astronomical data is correct. Someone designed this device with complete understanding of planetary mechanics, gear ratios, and bronze casting techniques. The same someone who mapped Antarctica before the Ice Age, who built precision stone structures across 5 continents, who developed electrical technology 2,000 years before it was supposedly invented. The evidence keeps piling up. The Nazca lines in Peru, massive ground drawings visible only from the air. The Easter Island statues, 887 moai arranged in patterns that mirror star constellations. The Giza pyramids aligned to Orion's belt with mathematical precision that requires understanding of the Earth's rotation and axial precession. Someone had aerial reconnaissance capabilities. Someone understood celestial navigation. Someone possessed advanced mathematics and engineering skills. The conventional explanation falls apart under scrutiny. Ancient people didn't accidentally create precision, stone cutting, electrical generation, mechanical computation, and global mapping. These aren't lucky coincidences or gradual developments. They're integrated technologies that require systematic scientific knowledge. But then something happened 12,800 years ago. The Younger Dryas, global climate catastrophe, ice sheets melting, sea levels rising 400 feet, massive floods, species extinctions, population collapse. The geological record is clear. Platinum spikes in sediment layers indicate massive impact events. Nanodiamonds formed under extreme pressure and temperature. Spherules created by cosmic impacts. Glass formations from intense heat. The evidence points to multiple comet fragments hitting the North American ice sheet. The impact triggered global catastrophe. Ice dams broke. Meltwater floods swept across continents. Climate shifted dramatically. The advanced civilization that built Göbekli Tepe mapped Antarctica and understood celestial mechanics was wiped out, but not completely. Some survived. They preserved knowledge in stone monuments, underground cities, encoded maps. They taught what they could to primitive survivor populations. Over thousands of years, the advanced knowledge became legend, myth, religious symbolism. We're the descendants of both groups, the survivors of the advanced civilization and the primitive peoples they encountered. We're rebuilding what was lost, rediscovering technologies that once existed, following pathways already traveled. That's why ancient sites contain knowledge we're only now understanding. Why primitive cultures possessed impossible technologies. Why the archaeological record shows sudden leaps in capability without gradual development. We're not the first technological civilization, we're the second. Maybe the third, maybe the 10th. The pattern repeats. Advanced civilizations rise, achieve remarkable capabilities, then face catastrophic events. Some knowledge survives. New civilizations emerge from the ruins, inherit fragments of advanced technology, gradually rebuild. But each time, something is lost. The precision of Pumapunku, the electrical understanding of ancient Egypt, the mechanical sophistication of Greek computers. We're still trying to match capabilities that existed thousands of years ago. The evidence is overwhelming. Someone built impossible structures with precision we can barely match. Someone had global mapping capabilities before recorded history. Someone developed electrical technology, mechanical computation, and astronomical mathematics thousands of years before official timelines suggest. They were here first. They built the monuments we study, the underground cities we explore, the precision artifacts we analyze. They faced a cosmic catastrophe that reset civilization. We're their descendants, rebuilding what was lost. The next question isn't whether an advanced civilization existed before us. The question is whether we'll survive the next reset, whether our knowledge will be preserved in stone and metal for future civilizations to rediscover, whether someone at some day will look at our ruins and wonder how primitive people built such impossible things. Recent excavations at Göbekli Tepe have uncovered something that changes everything. Layer 27, deeper than anything previously found. Stone tools with microscopic precision. Cutting edges sharper than surgical scalpels, metal traces that shouldn't exist in pre-metallic cultures. The tools are made from obsidian sourced from Cappadocia, 150 miles. But the cutting patterns show machine precision, angles measured to fractions of degrees, surface finishes that require diamond-tipped tools. Someone had diamond-tipped tools 11,600 years ago. The Longyu Caves in China add another impossible piece to the puzzle. 24 man-made caverns carved from solid siltstone. Each cave covers thousands of square meters. Ceilings soar 30 meters high. The precision is staggering. Walls carved at exact angles, pillars supporting massive weight loads, drainage systems that prevent flooding after 2,000 years. But here's the problem. No historical records mention their condition. No debris piles from excavation. 36 million cubic feet of rock removed with zero trace of where it went. The tool marks show uniform cutting patterns across all 24 caves. Same technique, same mysterious builders. Carbon dating organic materials found inside gives dates around 2,000 years ago. But carbon dating tells you when people used the caves, not when they built them. The engineering suggests much older origins. The siltstone formation itself is over 50,000 years old. Local legends speak of ancient kings who built underground palaces. Stories passed down through generations describe massive construction projects involving thousands of workers. But official history has no record of such undertakings, no records of the workforce, no administrative documents, no payment records for laborers. Someone built the largest underground construction project in human history and left no trace in the historical record. The precision metalwork at Sacsayhuaman Fortress in Peru defies explanation. Blocks weighing over 100 tons fitted together without mortar. No gaps between stones. Some joints so tight you can't slide paper between them. The blocks have interlocking shapes, complex polygons that distribute weight perfectly across the structure. But the metalwork is what breaks the rules. Bronze and gold artifacts found at the site show molecular-level precision. Alloy compositions that require exact temperature control. Some pieces contain metal ratios that modern metallurgy struggles to achieve, thread-thin goldwork that requires microscopic tools to create. The Inca get official credit for construction, but the Spanish conquistadors who arrived in 1532 found the site already ancient. Local indigenous people called it the work of the Pied Old Ones, a civilization that came before the Inca by thousands of years. Recent spectrographic analysis of the metal artifacts reveals something impossible. Some pieces contain isotopic ratios that don't match terrestrial metals. The zinc-to-copper ratios in certain bronze pieces require refining techniques not developed until the 20th century. Someone had advanced metallurgy that exceeded modern capabilities. The stone spheres of Costa Rica present another precision enigma. Over 300 perfectly round granite spheres scattered across the Diquís Delta. The largest weighs 15 tons. The smallest weighs just a few pounds. Some are perfect spheres to within 2 millimeters, precision that requires advanced measuring equipment. The granite comes from quarries 50 miles away in the Talamanca Mountains. Moving 15-ton spheres across 50 miles of jungle terrain requires engineering capabilities that supposedly didn't exist in pre-Columbian America. But someone did it, multiple times, with mathematical precision. Carbon dating of organic materials found near the spheres gives dates between 600 and 1600 CE. But again, carbon dating organic debris tells you when people were present, not when they carved perfect granite spheres with Stone Age tools. The arrangement isn't random. Some spheres form precise geometric patterns. Others align with magnetic north. Several groups point to specific star positions at winter solstice. Someone understood advanced geometry, stellar navigation, and magnetic properties of Earth. Samuel Lothrop from the Peabody Museum spent years studying the spheres. His measurements revealed mathematical relationships between sizes. The ratios follow precise geometric progressions. The largest spheres occupy positions that create golden ratio proportions when viewed from specific angles. But the real mystery is the crafting technique. Granite is one of the hardest stones on Earth. Shaping a 15-ton granite block into a perfect sphere requires tools harder than granite, diamond-tipped tools, or something even more advanced. The Bosnian Pyramid Complex in Visoko presents evidence that established archaeology refuses to acknowledge. Dr. Semir Osmanagic has spent 15 years excavating what appears to be the largest pyramid structure on Earth. The Pyramid of the Sun measures 220 meters high, 30% larger than Egypt's Great Pyramid. Ground-penetrating radar shows internal chambers, tunnels, and geometric structures. The exterior stones show tooling marks and precise joints. Carbon dating of organic materials trapped between stone layers gives dates up to 29,400 years old. But mainstream archaeology rejects the findings. They claim natural geological formation, random rock arrangements, pareidolia, seeing patterns that don't exist. The evidence suggests otherwise. Concrete analysis by the University of Zenica confirms artificial cement binding the stone blocks. The cement composition matches samples from ancient Roman structures, but predates Roman technology by 25,000 years. Electrical measurements reveal something extraordinary. The pyramid generates an electromagnetic frequency of 28 kilohertz. The signal strength increases with altitude. The apex produces the strongest electromagnetic field. Dr. Paolo De Bertolis from the University of Trieste documented ultrasonic phenomena at the site. Frequencies that affect human consciousness. Same frequencies found at other megalithic sites worldwide: Stonehenge, the Giza Pyramids, Newgrange. Someone built structures that manipulate electromagnetic fields and human brainwave patterns. Someone understood the relationship between stone construction, electromagnetic resonance, and consciousness alteration. The underwater ruins off Yonaguni Island near Japan challenge every assumption about Ice Age civilizations. Professor Masaki Kimura from the University of the Ryukyus has spent 25 years studying the submerged structures, step pyramids, terraces, channels, carved animals, geometric patterns. The structures lie 60 feet underwater. Sea levels were that low 12,000 years ago during the last ice age, which means someone built sophisticated stone monuments when the area was dry land. But the carving details are what prove human construction: 90-degree angles, straight lines, parallel surfaces, carved symbols, and pictographs. Nature doesn't create right angles and parallel lines. Water erosion doesn't carve geometric symbols. The main structure measures 150 meters long, 40 meters wide, 27 meters high. It contains multiple levels connected by staircases, drainage channels carved into the stone, processing areas with carved collection basins. This is advanced architecture, not natural geology. Professor Robert Schoch from Boston University argues for natural formation. He points to layered sandstone that fractures along straight lines, but his analysis doesn't explain the carved symbols, the drainage systems, or the processing areas with geometric patterns. The structures match construction techniques found at other megalithic sites: same precise stone cutting, same understanding of water management, same integration of natural and artificial elements. Someone had global construction capabilities 12,000 years ago. Marine archaeologist Dr. Sean Kingsley examined the site using underwater photography and sonar mapping. His analysis confirms artificial construction. The tool marks, our joint patterns, and construction techniques match terrestrial megalithic sites from the same time period. Someone built monumental architecture on dry land that's now underwater. Someone had construction capabilities during the last ice age that match or exceed modern standards. The precision engineering at Nan Madol in Micronesia adds Pacific evidence to the global pattern. 92 artificial islands built from basalt logs weighing up to 50 tons each. The islands are connected by canals and surrounded by massive stone walls. The entire complex covers 170 acres. But basalt doesn't exist on Pohnpei Island. The nearest basalt quarries are on islands hundreds of miles away. Someone transported millions of tons of basalt across open ocean using Stone Age technology. The logistics alone require advanced maritime capabilities. The construction technique defies explanation. Basalt logs stacked like Lincoln logs without mortar. Some walls reach 50 feet high. The weight distribution requires engineering knowledge to prevent collapse, but the joints fit perfectly. No gaps, no shifting after centuries of earthquakes and typhoons. Local oral traditions describe the builders as the Saudeleur dynasty, but radiocarbon dating puts construction between 800 and 1600 CE. The Saudeleur people had outrigger canoes and basic tools. They couldn't quarry, transport, and stack 50-ton basalt logs across hundreds of miles of ocean. The underwater sections reveal the true age. Sonar mapping shows submerged structures extending below current sea level. Some walls continue 20 feet underwater. Sea levels were that low during the last ice age 12,000 years ago. Someone built Nan Madol when sea levels were lower. Someone had oceanic construction capabilities during the Ice Age. The radiocarbon dates reflect later occupation, not original construction. Bill Childress spent decades studying Nan Madol's construction techniques. His analysis reveals precision-fitting methods that require advanced mathematics. The basalt logs are shaped to interlock perfectly. Weight distribution follows engineering principles not developed until modern times. Someone understood advanced structural engineering 12,000 years ago. The megalithic temples of Malta provide European evidence of impossible precision. Hagar Kim, Menasdra, Tarxian, massive stone structures with astronomical alignments and precision craftsmanship. Some stones weigh over 20 tons. The carving details show tool marks from instruments harder than copper or bronze. Official dating places construction between 3,600 and 2,500 BCE. But recent analysis of the bedrock suggests much older origins. The limestone beneath the temples shows weathering patterns consistent with exposure to much higher sea levels. Malta was connected to Sicily by a land bridge during the last ice age. The temples were built on elevated ground that's now isolated islands. Someone chose construction sites that would remain above water when ice caps melted. The astronomical alignments prove advanced mathematical knowledge. The Manasdra Temple aligns perfectly with solar equinoxes and solstices. Specific doorways frame sunrise and sunset on exact dates. The builders understood the Earth's axial tilt and orbital mechanics. Dr. Ruben Grima from the University of Malta documented acoustic properties at the temple sites. Specific chambers produce resonance effects at frequencies that alter human consciousness. The same electromagnetic phenomena found at pyramid sites worldwide. Someone built structures that combine astronomical knowledge, precision engineering, and consciousness-altering acoustics. Someone understood the relationship between architecture, astronomy, and human psychology. The pattern becomes undeniable. Precision megalithic construction on every continent. Advanced metallurgy before the Bronze Age. Electrical technology before recorded history. Global mapping capabilities before official exploration. Mathematical knowledge before written mathematics. The conventional timeline is wrong. Hunter-gatherers with stone tools didn't spontaneously develop advanced engineering capabilities on the multiple continents simultaneously. Someone else was here first. Someone with technology we're still trying to understand. The Younger Dryas impact event 12,800 years ago reset global civilization, but knowledge survived in stone monuments, underground cities, and encoded maps. Survivor populations preserved fragments of advanced technology. Over millennia, the knowledge became legend, myth, and religious symbolism. We're rediscovering what was lost, following pathways already traveled, rebuilding capabilities that once existed. The evidence sits in museums, archaeological sites, and underwater ruins worldwide. Precision that exceeds modern standards. Mathematics that predates official development. Technology that shouldn't exist. Someone was here first. Someone built the impossible monuments we study. Someone had capabilities we're still trying to match. We're living in their rebuild. The question isn't whether an advanced civilization existed before. Recent geological surveys at Göbekli Tepe's deepest layers have found silicon carbide traces, industrial diamond particles that occur naturally only in meteorites or high-tech manufacturing. Someone was using diamond-cutting tools 11,600 years ago to carve stone circles that track stellar precession across 26,000-year cycles. We're not the first. We're the latest in a cycle that repeats every 12,000 years when cosmic debris resets everything back to stone tools and cave paintings. The next reset is overdue.